All right, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Raven County Rag. Got a little new intro there. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Got a little intro music going on and provided by YouTube. Appreciate it. Let's see what else. Good to be back. I talked about it last week, I think. Let me tell you, it feels good to be home. Kentucky was fine, but I tell you, there is nothing like seeing those Blue Ridge Mountains rising up as you're coming back this way. I automatically start breathing better. My attitude gets better, and it's just good to be home. Welcome to the Rabun County Rag, where heritage meets humor and where our mountain spirit still runs as deep as the Tallulah River. Let's remind ourselves who we are and what we stand for. We are a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, protecting our community, culture, families, and the environment. We come here and we exchange ideas, resources, and information. Now y'all know how we do things around here. Share your hunting stories, your fishing reports, or favorite mountain memories right here in the comments. This is your show just as much as it is mine. How are we coming in out there? Looks like I need to do some camera adjustments. Y'all excuse me, got a little bit of a snotty nose. I tell you what, I got to working with this new camera equipment, and boy, I tell you, not camera equipment, sound equipment. I was in Atlanta the other day, and I'd been doing some research. Man, I was struggling. I was trying to, let me turn that down just a little more. I was struggling trying to get some audio in there so I could have some intro music, maybe some applauding. I don't know what that was. Or some laughter. All right? How about this? Applause. Thank you. And we need plenty of that now. Y'all know we need a lot of laughter in our life. And if you want to laugh at me, that's cool. Got a new, I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. It's kind of, I don't know if it's a logo or an opening screen or what it is. Y'all, here, let me flash it in front of your eyes. Y'all tell me what you think about that. I know Home Again in the Hiller. I'll work on that, but what the hey? And that's old Pleurophoria, and that's a younger vision of myself. I guess she's looked at me and kind of decided to dress me up. Thank you, Pleurophoria. That's her in the background there. That's an image that she decided she wanted to create of herself. And let me see. Yep. Got her hound dog, got her foxfire book, and the light of wisdom that she thinks we share. Oh, there she is. Got her old hound dog. Anyway, we're let's see. Not this weekend. Archery season's in full swing, but next weekend, primitive weapon, youth firearms starts this week, starts Saturday. Get your youngins out there. Make sure you teach them gun safety and how to take care of nature and walk quietly and look around and see all the beauty of it all. And I'm making some adjustments in this old screen here, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm just learning. But anyway, I'm moving along here. Boy, I'm glad to have got that. Darn, it's been such a hassle. You would not believe behind the scenes me trying to, and for $150, I got it solved. If you only knew how much time I spent. Look, I can put in background. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all hear it? And I can tune it up. And another thing, if you want to call in and you know my number, I could put you on the air with us. I would like that. I'm not going to give my number out on the thing here, man. Them old scam callers, spam callers. If one calls in while we're on the air, though, we'll have some fun with that. I never thought I'd look forward to a daggum spam call, but I kind of really am. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we's talking about deer hunting. I bet the old son-in-law, this old cooler weather and the leaves starting to change, I bet everybody's getting a little itchy, ready to get out there. And I guess I talk about, maybe it was this past weekend. Yeah, I did a live stream on the channel earlier in the week, and I had a couple firearms there, and I did an overhead camera and cleaned them while we talked about it. And we talked a little bit about hunter safety and gun safety and how to clean them and the importance of cleaning them. I believe that thing is still on there. If y'all want to go look at it from last week. So that's where we're at. I didn't get any editing done today. Man, I got carried away. I was so excited about I just got this yesterday. I was down in the office at 5 a.m. starting to learn how to use this. It's called a Zoom PodTrack 4. And this is a baby step now. I got some bigger plans. This is just for the office here. I'm going to use this in the office. Leave it set up right here in the office. That way, if I've got conference calls or Zoom calls, I can sit here at the desk and not have to, sorry about bumping that, not have to worry about rushing around back and forth. And the only thing I got left, and I know I'm supposed to be on deer hunting and stuff like that, but I like to keep you informed of what's going on in the channel so you'll know why I'm bald-headed. But the next big thing, and if y'all know I need to call that old Matt Brewer. And I need to get all of my media consolidated and moved around and organized and on the office network, or the network down here in the bunker. That way I can pull software without having to make a flash drive and go on next door, or moving information back and forth. I do a little bit of that. I'd like to quit. I'd like to be able to fire up if I've got something to say and reduce that old prep time down to minimum. Anyway, if y'all know anybody who's into networking and network access storage, I think they call it a NAS. Anyway, if y'all know, if any of y'all or you know somebody who does that kind of thing, y'all help a brother out. You know, a brother could always use help. Anyway, I'm excited about. I know people are getting ready. Old deer season. Anyway, the old son-in-law, he went out to went down up to Franklin. I think they've got a gun range somewhere, and he is going to zero in his rifle. And I asked him to take 882L. Is that a Marlin? And it's a 22 mag. I asked him to scope, sight it in using that scope, and he said he got it sighted in at 100 yards. And I thought I had sighted it in once before, but hell, I can't ever remember. So I needed to clean it. And he also took a Ruger 2245. That's that little auto feed 20 long rifle that I mounted a red dot on it, and he said he sighted it, I think, at 30 yards. So I need to get out there and put my eyeballs on it and adjust it for my eyes. As long as he got it on the paper, I can work with it. It won't take but max 3 shots after the first one. 2 shots after the first one. I'll figure it out. I'll get it. Anyway, now the firearms season, them old boys, y'all get ready. Opens up on 18 October, runs clean through 11 January. I'd like to have some base, this turn of the season here. I got a can of beets out today. This weather changing makes me think about root vegetables, and I made some country style ribs the other night, and I had a sweet potato and an onion. So getting them root vegetables and some highly seasoned pork country style ribs. I've been having them for lunch for a couple. Boy, I made chili a couple weeks ago, and I just now got that stuff eat. Whoo! I'm glad to see it come, and I'm glad to see it go. Anyway, I'd like to have either a deer pot roast with onions and potatoes and some turnips. The old collard green patch, it looked like it came back. Them old bugs, some kind of bug got in them and eat every bit of the green off the veins. Just looked like lace, green lace out there. But now it's coming back. I could probably get 2 or 3 messes of collard greens, and I might do that yet. I see some kale now. The garden's, a lot of it's covered up in weeds, but I need to put it to bed. And I've just been too dadgum lazy. I ain't even cut the grass yet. I figure the leaves are going to start falling, and if I cut the grass, then I'm going to start blowing the leaves. And I'm thinking, I'll let a bunch of them leaves get down, and I'll cut the grass. And that way I can blow the grass and the leaves off into the woods. And, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't care if the grass looks a little long. It don't really bother me. Hell, I live up here in the mountains. I ain't got to keep no manicured lawn. Who came up with the idea of lawns anyway? Shame on that fool. Man, everybody ought to have a darn garden, a victory garden. That's what I think. Now, you might not think much of my thinking, but that's the way I think. Let me know how you think. Send me a comment. I'd like to see some comments. Anywho, we're going to move along. We supposed to be talking about hunting and fishing. We're going to. I'm fixing to get right back on it here. All right, hunting and fishing. Hunting and fishing. Like I said, firearm seasons opens not this weekend, but the next weekend. The camaraderie, sitting around the fire, smelling that wood smoke, having a joyous time. You know, here in my later years, I've picked up trying to learn how to play the mandolin and the guitar. And boy, I think that'd be nice, sitting around the fire and picking the mandolin or the guitar. People ask me, "Do you play?" I said, "No, I just practice. I make a joyful noise." Got my little Altoid can here, making plenty of noise, fiddling around here. I guess you could tell. Excuse me. I don't think this thing's got a cough button. But anyway, yep, bear season. Archery runs through, what is that? Friday. So if you're a bow hunter and you like to get them bear, you got one more day. Get after them, boy. That's all I got to say. Get after it. I don't know how to do this. I'd like to get a bit more of that. Oh, hell. Wait a minute. What can I do? I can move the camera just a hair. And then I got to flip her back. Flip her back this way. I know. Playing around all the time, ain't I? Oh, look at that. I'm still going. Getting the old shade in the way. One more little tip. There we go. I ain't in the center. And let me get my old Glorifolia squared away there. I got to keep her in the frame. What was he talking about? Well, he's talking about something. I told her I appreciated her being here with me. She does as much work as I do, and I want to give her as much. That's her too. That's her self-impression. She still got her lantern, and she still got her book. And that white thing is this darn old. I've been trying to figure out a way to get the reflection off of that screen. I ain't done it yet. If y'all know how, let me know. Anyway, where were we? Primitive weapon for bear and youth starts Saturday for 1 week. Not even a week. 6 days. So if you got a brave youth, I don't know, hunting them old bear. And then firearm season for bear opens on 18 October. I ain't afraid of no bear. But the archery been, I don't have very good experience. I'm liable to shoot him and hit him and make him mad and climb up a tree and try and get my fat old butt. Me trying to run from a bear. It'd be like me trying to run from that beaver in the Chattahoochee River one time. Good Lord. I'd like to have video of that. I'd be viral. Anyway, squirrel season's been ongoing through since August 15th and runs clean into February 28th. I want to give my son-in-law that 22 pistol he sighted in and tell him if the deer season gets too boring out there and he's ready to call it quits, if he wants to knock down a couple of them old gray tree rats, he can do that. We'll make a mess of squirrel dumplings. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. I'd like to check this stream, see how it's doing. Y'all don't mind if I do something, do y'all? I know. I'm just sitting here waiting on somebody to say hello. And we going in, boy. Somebody calls in and Pluriforia. If she were to send a text, I would fall out of this chair into the floor. Anyway, I'm firing up this old got new phones. My wife's birthday. And we had these Note 9s, I bet, for 5 years. Boy, that's an aggravating thing, getting new phones. They say, hey, you can get it half off. And then you start doing the numbers, ain't no half off. Them sly dogs, they got the numbers worked out. I ended up buying the damn things and just keeping the same. And then they call me up, glad, pat me on the back, tell me they're glad. And what can they do to make me happier? I said, I tell you what, after 60 days, if I ain't feeling any better than I am right now, I'm going to jump. Because I paid for my phones. I ain't got no contract with you rascals. Let's see what we got going on. I just want to make sure I'm doing right. Let me check this thing. Let's see. I'm listening to myself rant and rave. Howdy. Ain't nobody else talking to me. I guess I could talk to myself. How's that sound? Anyway, where were we? Oh, rabbit. Now, funny thing happened one time. We used to have these old family reunions. I had this old crazy aunt. She's still crazy. She's still alive. I'm sure she's still crazy. If you're crazy, crazy don't go nowhere. It just hangs with you duration. But us kids, she brought in an old pan of fried chicken. So we thought. And we was ear to ear and crumbs and grease eating that meat. And she had us all gathered around there. And we was digging in. Pile of bones was getting bigger. And she says, well, how was that rabbit? Me, you could tell. I just kept right on eating. Some of the cousins kind of backed off and went the other direction. Some of the little girls was squealing all kinds of crazy stuff. It tickled the fool out of me. But I'll eat rabbit now. Anyway, rabbit season starts mid-November. I gotta go to a wedding in November. I figure we're going to go south and pick up my old dad. And we're going to ride across south of the state of Georgia over into Roanoke, Alabama, and visit my daughter, husband, and brand new grandson. And I'm probably going to be around somewhere first week of November, I'm not sure. And then we're going to go cross over to Birmingham and pick up 65 North and run it on up into toward Nashville, I think. Don't 65 run into the Nashville? Who are you truck drivers out there? I used to be one, but I don't know half the roads anymore. I know the odd numbers run north and south, and the even numbers, U.S. interstates, run east and west. And a spur is a odd numbered, like 85 and what is that? 585. It runs into Gainesville. Six. Well, anyway, and the even number is a bypass, and 65 runs into Nashville, and then we're going to take 24 up into Clarksville and visit with my sister and go to my nephew's wedding. Anyway, and then come back down through, may stop at my house or may go to my sister's house, and it just depends. She may go to the wedding, so then we'll just come to my house for a camp out for a day, and then I'll get him back home. So he's real excited about seeing a great grandson, and I'm real excited for him to see him. Anyway, but when I get back, rabbit season, I got a couple of them darn things around here. I stepped out in the back, outside the office door here, the shop door, and relieved myself in the grass, and that son bitch just stared at me. I bet I could have went over there and relieved myself on his forehead. But anyway, I don't see but one or two around here. I don't know if I want to even take them till they get to be a burden. You know, they don't eat much out of the garden. I like keeping them around. You never know when things are going to go bad, and I'd like to keep a little meat on the hoof, so to say. But anywho, trapping, you got another season. So you got statewide trapping, starts December 1st and runs through February 28th. That's on public land now. There's no closed season on coyote, beaver, raccoon, or possum on private land. They don't have otter on there. Bobcat and otter requires a CITES tag for transport. Says you got to check your traps every 24 hours, and please dispatch them humanely and quickly. Somebody send me a dadgum something or another. Let me know I'm not out here all by myself. Fishing report. I was walking the other day, and there's a big old bass just floating right at the top of the water. And he was eating some big old fat terrestrials. I'm not sure. I think it was a bass. It looked like a bass. And you could look out across that Tougaloo Lake, and you could see. I bet you I saw half a dozen or eight. You could tell, fish just feeding on top of the water, being lazy and just eating whatever's laying on top of the water, what fell overnight or whatever. But that's what they were doing. So they're active at dawn on top water plugs near rocky points or brush or something like that. So get out there and catch them, boys, before deer season comes in. Says here, Seed Lake, the crappie is picking up around brush piles in 10 to 12 feet of water. I imagine they're going to slow down before long, well, depending on the temperature. Lake Rabun, catfish still biting deep on chicken liver and cut bait. Man, that old chicken liver getting... I think I'd rather fry them up in the pan and feed old fat catfish with them. Probably less expensive by the time you put in the time, effort, money to buy them and everything else. And go out there and sit around on that cold ground. Anyway, that depends on what you want to do. Rainbow and Browns are taking small spinners and nymphs. I got a cuff full of nymphs out there in the truck. I need to load up my fishing poles. I took them out 6 weeks ago when I went to Spartanburg and then to Paradise. I took them out and ain't put them back in. Yeah, I need to do that. I want to go fishing. I'd keep fooling around here doing the other things. Doing these old live streams and these darn old sound gadgets so I can do a better live stream, doing all this artwork, man, and ain't nobody watching. I guess I could cry, but I'm having a good time. It keeps me busy, keeps me learning, keeps me aggravated. A man needs a certain amount of aggravation in his life. It says the old bit rate is slow, but I seem to be. Let me check this. Hang on a minute. Just checking on that stream since nobody else will let me know. How's that background music? Is it too loud? Yeah, trade up. All right, humor break. Now they say every hunter's got a trophy story. Mine, I bagged a buck so smart, he left me a thank you note for missing. That don't make no sense. I'm gonna laugh because it's dumb. I don't know what that means. If I bagged him, I darn sure didn't miss him. It should say I missed the buck. So smart. I had an old boy one time, he was talking about, he called his buddy up on the phone. He says, "Hey man, you ever seen a 3-legged turkey?" And his buddy says, "No, I've seen a 1-legged turkey, but I never seen." He said that was a 3-legged turkey. That call was so sweet. He came running. Had to be a male and a hunter to understand that. But all this hunting season talk is a few hunters' safety reminders, okay? Time to get serious here. Uh, if you have a target come into sight, identify it positively now, and then know what is beyond that target. If you're shooting downhill, is there a road further down? If you're shooting uphill, how far away? If that thing clears the ridge, how far will that bullet travel? And what could it strike on the other side? So make sure you identify your target and what's behind it. Also, we talked about this a little bit the other day. Always wear hunter orange during firearms season. Deer don't see color. Their eyes aren't designed. Their sense of smell and hearing is their predominant safe survival. So make sure you wear that hunter orange so that other people out there who are hunting will be able to spot you and identify you. Also, make sure you check that gear before you're heading out. Are you going out just for the day? Are you going to go camp? You're going to go to camp for a couple of days. Make sure you got ample water, food, of course, and ways to stay warm clothing. Check your gear. Make sure, like the son-in-law and his buddies, make sure, and my daughter, she went with him, and she's going to go hunting this year. I'm proud of her. Make sure your rifle's scoped, your scope is sighted. Check your bowstring. Make sure everything is working fine. And if you're with a group of guys, make sure you establish zones of fire, and you know where each person is, and you lay out visually what your firing zone is. And if you're a solo guy, even if you're going with a group, make sure you leave a plan and return time with someone at home. So that way you're running late, they can throw up flags if they need to. Now remember, alcohol, I'm not opposed to it, but I think you ought to keep your wits about you. Keep your mind sharp and your aim steady. So take it easy on the alcohol. All right. Hey, the mule that knew math. Now, I don't know how true this is, but back in the 1940s, a farmer over in Persimmon claimed his mule could count. He'd say, "Now, Daisy, how many rows have we planted today?" And she'd stomp 3 times. Turns out Daisy just stomped whenever she got tired of standing still. But folks came from all over to see the smartest mule in Rabun County. Oh. All right. Another one, I think this comes from either Foxfire or the Rabun County Heritage Society. I'm not sure. But this story is called The Pig and the Parson. Old Parson Carver came home to find his prize hog gone. That Sunday, he preached on "Thou shalt not steal." After church, a young man said, "Parson, mighty fine sermon, but if you're looking for your pig, he's at my house." He said, "Son, I wasn't preaching at you." The boy replied, "I know, but it sure felt like the Lord was." All right, I got another one here. Y'all want to hear it? Hey, y'all can send me some jokes. I'm looking at the comment. Uh-oh. Oh, am I on the Raven County rag? I hope so. Looks that way. I have messed up a few times. Be doing a live stream on another channel in this format, or I don't know. The moonshine math problem. Raven County boy once told his teacher, "If a jug holds a gallon and a still runs 3 jugs a night, how many gallons can we sell by Saturday?" That depends on who's asking, me or the revenue. Y'all like my corny laugh track? I love it. What time is it? Ooh, I still got 20 minutes, and I still haven't had a single comment. Now, the old spam call's supposed to quit by 8 o'clock, I think. We still got a few minutes. This audio interface has what they call a mix minus. That means you can call in and talk to me, and I can talk to you, but you won't hear yourself back through the broadcast. It confuses me. Sometimes I take them headphones off, but right now I've got less latency. You hear me slow down, and I'm trying to work with the latency, just so I can monitor background music and things like that. See, I forgot to turn it back on. It only allows 4 tracks, and one of them's the laugh track, one of them's applause, and then I forget a couple artists I got off of YouTube. But something is coming in the other studio. I got this one set up. I use the small one to get myself educated and ready to go, and I'll tackle that one hopefully next week. It's got a bigger learning curve. It probably take me 2 or 3 weeks to learn that thing. Sorry about the yawn, boys and girls, but that's in Studio B. I'm I'm kind of really like I got this set up because what I have right here in front of me is stuff I take on the road with me. And so if I can break it down fairly quick and get it loaded, I can still do my stuff on the road. And that's part of the reason why I got some of this stuff so I could be mobile and up my game. If y'all saw some of the stuff I was doing in the hotel rooms, but I got to tell you now, I've looked at today I was looking at some stuff I've done back in, I think, 2021. I've got some stuff back as far as 18, I think. And I think I've improved considerably. Anyway, this is one channel I'd really like to see take off. I know plenty of people in Raven County and want to join in. We could, and if this is not a good night, but see, I hadn't had anybody make suggestions for different time frames either. I'm malleable, flexible. And if somebody wants to co-host this, we can sure set them up, make sit in their living room and do it from time to time. I'd like to watch and participate from the audience perspective. Anyway, man, just rambling on. Uh, you know, I've I've always try to make sure I have some history in these live streams, and I if I'd been in the county longer and I hadn't had a working life, I'm sure I'd know more history. But every time I hear some, I'm thinking, man, what a place! I am so fortunate to be here, and you ought to feel the same. Anyway, I think I covered this last week, how Raven County was, how it's got its name. It was formed in 1819. Let's see, that was 24 and 43. 43 years after the founding of the country. So, the first governor, it was taken from parts of Habersham. And thank you, Habersham. We'll try and be good neighbors since you let us come our own little division. Anyway, it was named for Governor William Rabun, Georgia's 11th governor. The early settlers, folks like James Bleckley and Andrew Miller, built their lives in these valleys with churches, schools, and the old log courthouse near present-day Clayton. When the Tallulah Falls Railroad rolled through in the 1890s, it was known as the Old TF, Tough Flying. Conductors used to say every passenger got 2 tickets, one for the train and one for heaven. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. In case the brakes failed, they got that ticket for heaven. In case the brakes failed, coming down the gorge. And now, Foxfire is a real part of the community. It's been here, and I know I'm buffering, but I'm on the satellite. I don't know what to do. I've got the best I can get for where I'm at. So y'all have to grin and bear it with me. But the story of Foxfire, and it's not that old of a story. 1966, that's 59 years ago. A young English teacher named Elliot Wigington came to Raven Gap Nachuchi School. His students weren't much for textbooks, so he sent them out to collect local stories and crafts from their elders. How to split shingles, make soap, build a spring house, or cure a cold with horehound tea. Those interviews became the Foxfire magazine, and later the Foxfire books published worldwide. The first volume came out in 1972, and its success helped fund the Foxfire Museum and Heritage Center in Mountain City. So if you're ever up in the area, take a day. Go up there and check out the Foxfire Museum and Heritage Center. To this day, students and volunteers keep the project alive, proof that Appalachian wisdom still has a place in the modern world. Foxfire lit a torch that still burns bright for every mountain soul who values self-reliance and storytelling. So, if you ever get up here, you ever get by there, even if you're local, uh, go by, check it out, support them. Now, I gleaned, or excuse me, Pluriforia gleaned the Clayton Tribune for some local events. Tiger having a fall festival this Saturday at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Tiger Town Park. We'll be having games, hay rides, music by Tom Proctor Band and Gina Cowart. Raffle benefiting creating ties that bind. There's also a 5K run this Saturday at 8:30 a.m. in Tiger, and it supports Choices Pregnancy Center. Clayton Police having a Rides of Christmas Past Car Show October 11th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Entry is a new toy for Toys for Tots. Stokoa Creek. That's the creek that runs right south down next to the highway in Clayton. And there's a park right across from the entrance here where I live. They're at the indoor flea market. That's changed into some kind of medical center. But they're having a work day, removing invasives and planting natives. Faith is having events for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Harvest of Heroes, Trunk or Treat. Harvest of Heroes is October the 14th, and Trunk or Treat October 20, and Purple Thursday. I'm not sure what Purple Thursday is, but that is on October 23rd. All right. Okay, here's some. Let's see, we got about 8 more minutes. Is there really a Foxfire Boys band? I don't know. Let me look that up. Foxfire Boys. Let's see. Foxfire Boys. Home Sweet Home. Well, what do you know? I don't know if it'll play across here or not. I see them. I don't know if I can capture it. Let me see. Foxfire Boys. Audio output capture. Let's see what happens. All right. Foxfire Boys. Let's do some research on them. Boy, banging that Mando. Well, how about that? I don't know how it fed or how it sounded. Let me look. Hey. I'm sitting there listening to it on the live stream. Huh. Well, thank you, Foxfire Boys. If y'all catch this, say hello. Shout out for those volunteers at the Stokoa Creek Cleanup and Toys for Tots. You know my wife ain't been feeling too well. I bet if I scrounged around and came up with some money for her to go to Walmart, Dad, she could buy an old grandboy something and take something for them Toys for Tots. Welcome listeners from tuning in from Clayton, Tiger, and Toulouse Falls. Rabun County is pretty big. Hey, if you're out there on satellite and you're camping and you're wanting to look for some local flavor, go ahead and check in with me. Let me close that. I want to close that thing. That was real nice. I tell you what. Got 3 minutes. Let's see. All right. Question. Before we sign off, here's a question. I got 2 or 3 minutes left. What's your favorite fall memory here in Rabun County? Was it your first deer, your first trout, or your first kiss under those mountain stars? All right, I invite you to comment. I appreciate it. I've spent a whole hour here, and boy, it was a mad rush today. Thank you, Pluriphoria. Man, I hope you're listening, and let me tell you how much I appreciate the work you do to keep me on the right track and moving forward. Just remember, we're a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, protecting our community, culture, families, and environment. We gather here. I need to get a cough button. I guess I could hit the mute button. Next time I cough, I can just go. And that way, y'all won't have to listen to me. We gather here each Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, and we go for about an hour where we exchange ideas, resources, and information. Thank you all for letting me share this evening with me. Whether you're casting a line, cleaning your rifle, or just sitting on the porch watching the leaves turn, remember, we're all part of something bigger here in Rabun County. Until next Thursday, my friends, keep your powder dry, your lines tight, your hearts light, and as always, have a grateful day, and we'll see you next time.